Well, thank you very much. It is a very, very important question, especially for a member that represents a rural riding like Northumberland Quinte-West. Farming is like any other business. You have to make it viable before somebody wants to take on that venture, right? Whether it's farming, whether it's a grocery store, or whatever. And frankly, at the farming, family farm, weren't creating those results to make it very appealing to a family member to take on the challenge to carry on the family farm. So I think we needed to address that first. So a couple of things that we were able to do. First of all, we removed the land transfer tax within a family. So if a father wants to sell it to a son or daughter, there's no land transfer. That's already in place. Moving ahead, we're creating majors starting at high schools. Once again, it's part of our platform to deal with agriculture and food processing, so that we're teaching these kids or young adults right at the high school level, like we have shops for machine shop, woodworking, building, so that's going to be starting at the high school. The other thing that we've done already, and it's being rolled out as we speak, we've introduced a risk management plan for farmers. And what that really means, it's an insurance. Because farmers are good at planting, farmers are good at growing, but they have no control over the weather or world markets. So what the risk management is, and farmers have developed this program, and the province invests them $150 million a year in order to make sure that it stays viable. So at the end of the year, if the weather doesn't cooperate, or God forbid we have another BSE for the beef farmers, that at the end of the day, they'll at least have an income to pay for the cost of planting those seeds or raising those cows. So that is, it's already in place, and we have to look at innovative ways to move on from this, but that process has been started.
Well, thank you for that question, because I know at the local farm level, it's an important thing to address as to how you can manage the farm with the impacts of increasing costs of hydroelectricity, diesel fuel, nutrient and fertilizers to make your crop sustainable. That's one of the things that I would address as being your representative for Northumberland Quinte-West. It doesn't really help if a tax and succession is eliminated because of the fact that if you're going broke slowly but surely with these additional high taxes that are being put on electricity and source input fuels, you will wind up losing your farm back to the bank. It's unfortunate, it should not happen that way, but that's the trend that has been laid out in front of us. As your representative, I would mitigate these sort of things by making sure that farms would still stay as being farms. That's what they're best at, and that's the way to go forward, so that our children and our children's children have good, secure food sources so that we can be sustained for the millennia, not just one generation or two generations later. We do not wish to buy all our food from foreign imports and be able to be susceptible to the foreign varieties of strife and turmoil that is in the world. By having our own natural sources, we want to make sure and maintain a good thing is made in Ontario type program, and I congratulate Mr. Rinaldi and his team for promoting that. And that's one of the things that, as your representative, I would ensure and have that continue on as I bring forward your requirements at Queen's Park.
There are only 7,000 farmers under the age of 35, so it is a group that we do have to encourage. And I think we encourage it by making farming more interesting than it's been in the past. We are providing $300 million for apprenticeship programs. And I think these Quebec programs, which I have not heard of previously, are things we would definitely consider doing for new farmers. But we also want to make it possible for more value-added production to occur on the farm, and that would be either by eliminating the red tape so that it fits the scope and scale of the operation instead of one size fits all. And this would apply to small and medium-sized farms only. And we would also allow production, canning, beer, brewing, winemaking, any number of other activities, including energy projects and producing biofuels, all of which might excite younger people into the farming community once again. Also, succession programs are part of our program to make sure that farms can be transferred with the least amount of cost to the next generation. And organic training, peer-to-peer, it's another area we want to see developed. So we want to make our farms as diverse as possible so that there's an array of income sources so that they survive. And it is a field that farmers, parents would encourage the next generation to get into.
Thank you. I agree a lot with what Judy has to say, and I think it's important to realize that the average age of the farmer locally is around 55 years old, according to the OFA, and so this is a really current pressing issue that we need to address. And one of the ways the NDP wants to do that is by expanding our apprenticeship program to include farming, so that young people can get a chance to learn about the field and see if it's for them. And it's really important to get that hands-on experience. And also the funding structures that are described in this question are not something that are in our platform, but they're really valuable ideas because it is something that we need to be offering support to our farmers. And the ways we have planned to do that are redeveloping the local infrastructure that's going to make on-farm production possible. Things like local egg grading stations and abattoirs, because this is infrastructure that's slowly faded away from our area, and it's really making it more challenging for people to do that work that makes farm life viable. And we really need to honor the farmers because we are so blessed to live here and have the fabulous food and produce and artisanal work that happens on farms valued. And I think the farm gate sales are really important. So streamlining the red tape and the bureaucracy that really hampers that production is really, really important. And that is something that the NTP is committed to do.